Well, here is round two because apparently I didn't have enough coffee this morning. I didn't even save the original recording. So this is my second take. It's probably for good reason.
Wake up with Georgio says in the morning. Wake up with Georgio says. Wake up with Georgio says.
We have the Denise Richards new reality show that is premiering tonight after Real Housewives of Beverly Hills called Denise Richards and Her Wild Things. I'm very excited about this. This is now the second series that Denise has done for reality TV purposes. The first one was back in 2009 on the E! Network called, you guessed it, It's Complicated, and it seems like things are still complicated. We're also going to touch on why everyone is so frantically upset that Kyle yet again has first seat next to Andy. I've seen the messages, I've seen the comments, but I feel like we go through this every season, guys, so I'm going to remind you why that is. Candiace Dillard Bassett was out recently watching the season 9 part 3 reunion. There was a live viewer event happening, and Candiace was in attendance, which made me think, okay, does this mean you want to come back? Do you miss us? Do you miss the show just a little bit? Because I know I miss Candiace. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. We also need to talk about, obviously, yes, Blake Lively. This saga is never ending, it seems, and we quite literally have an entire year before they even go into court for this whole thing. But this time it's about her dragon, ex-bestie, still bestie, just behind closed doors. Not really sure what's going on there. Taylor Swift is in the headlines. Daily Mail is saying, yes, she very well may be subpoenaed. All right, my friends, it is Tuesday, March 4th. Listen, you may be getting ready for work. You may be on your way to work. You may already be at work, or you are melting into your couch, being nosy and catching up on all the latest and greatest when it comes to Bravo and Hollywood gossip, all of that stuff. So if you're doing any of those things, I support it. Okay. I think let's start with the easy stuff. Okay. Let's start with the Denise Richards show that is premiering tonight. I don't know if you guys are watching it. I don't know if you guys are interested. I know I am. I'm definitely going to be recapping this. This is going to be fantastic. I think that if you guys know anything about Denise Richards or her last stint on reality television, not Housewives, I'm talking back in 2009, there was a little show called It's Complicated, and I believe it had 2 seasons. Okay. So now we have Denise Richards coming back to reality TV, but it's just her family, and her daughters. I keep wanting to call them daughters because I feel like that's the appropriate way to address them. The ones to really watch here, I feel, are going to be the daughters, mainly the 2 older ones. So it seems that we've gotten a few clips. What we know is obviously we're going to be watching how Denise maneuvers through her life and her career and being a mother and a wife and being the ex-wife to Charlie Sheen. So here's what I'm hoping for in this series. I'm hoping that we get some real intel on what's going on. I would love to know how Denise and Charlie are doing, whether it's great, whether it's bad, however that works out. I hope we get to see some of that. Will we see Charlie Sheen? Not sure, but we may hear his voice because we have heard his voice on Housewives. So I'm nosy. I want to know what's going on there. Secondly, I want to know what's going on with Aaron and the lawsuit regarding that, whatever that wellness place was that he had that has since closed down, that was in Malibu. I do know that recently there was some lawsuit that had surfaced around a client who felt like they were ripped off. So I'm not sure how far they're going to go into things on the series, but I'm hopeful that if we're focusing on all of these different dynamics that surround Denise, that would be talked about because that is something that is happening. But we will watch, we will recap, and I'm going to give you my real thoughts on everything. But one thing that stood out to me in one of the clips was, and actually, I think it was an interview, but the daughters are going to be interesting to watch because, as we know, Sammy is the one that's a little bit more on the wilder side in the sense that she's willing to try different things and do what she wants to do. She seems to have a very supportive mother, so that's great. But then the other daughter is very much more religious, so she's very much, I don't want to call her evangelical, but she's very serious about her faith. So this is going to be interesting because the two sisters don't seem like they're seeing eye to eye. And based on just those exterior things, I could see why. So lots to unpack with that, I'm sure, because if you know Denise Richards, she's a bit chaotic when the cameras are around her. And I'll be interested to see what kind of edits we get from this show. I do think she is good reality television. I know a lot of people didn't like her on Housewives. I'm one of those people. I felt like she didn't stack up to what she could have been. But here we go. She's got her own show. So something was working. Okay. Lisa Rinna, are you okay out there? You guys remember when Lisa Rinna was shopping around a show around her family? Didn't seem to get picked up. So I wonder what she thinks about all this. Actually, she probably doesn't care. She's living out her like fashion modeling dream right now. So TV may be the last thing she's worried about, specifically reality television, but who knows? Because if the price is right, Lisa Rinna will consider it and possibly do it. All right, let's jump over really quick because I do want to touch base with you guys. I know we just had the Potomac reunion film. We watched it. Mia left, all of those things. But it got me thinking, okay, so I think it was yesterday or the day before. Anyway, shout out to the Reality Rundown on Instagram. They hosted an event. It was a watch party for the part 3 reunion for season 9 Potomac. And lo and behold, we had Candiace Dillard Bassett in attendance. And I have to say, I miss Candiace, specifically after watching how easy it was for Mia to just get up and leave the reunion, quite literally. Like she didn't even sit there and finish her day out. And she's the one that constructed this whole storyline that we watched around her kids, around questioning the paternity of her kids, all of these things. And then as soon as she's called to the carpet, now she's drawn the line at, we're not going to do this about my kids. You did this about your kids. I have all people do not like discussing people's children on these shows or for any other reason, really, because I don't think children have a place in this space. They're children. But seeing Candiace Dillard at this watch party got me thinking maybe this is a good moment for her to skedaddle on back. Okay. I miss Candiace Dillard for a number of things. The looks, the reads, that mouth. Okay. That was sorely missed this past season. But if we're not going to get Karen back and Mia can just leave whenever she wants, they better not reward that behavior with giving her a contract. She needs to sit this one out because it feels like she did all that to get first seat and then she gave it up really quick. And it ended up being Wendy who had, actually it was Eddie first and then Wendy who had first seat. So good for them. But Mia, I don't believe you deserve a spot on this show if you can't share what's really going on in your life without you going behind the scenes and producing a whole storyline for us that then crashes and burns and then you can't handle the backlash. Next. Okay. So I'm in favor. I don't know about you guys out there. I hope you guys stand in solidarity with me on this decision that Candiace should absolutely come back. And listen, if she wasn't interested, I don't see why she'd be coming to one of these events. I'm just saying, if I wasn't, if I was fine being off the show, I would be like, oh, I'm good. I'm not going to an event for a watch party for a show in season that I wasn't on. Who is she there to support? I believe Mia was also at this event, which, by the way, I posted to my TikTok and Instagram about my thoughts on Mia's cryptic post of all these quotes that I absolutely hate when people and celebrities share them because it's like, who are you talking about? What is this about? Is this about you? Is this about someone else? I don't want to play the guessing game. Okay, these were cute in 2012. They're not cute in 2025. We want to get down to the business. We don't want to play the guessing game. And if that's the case, then you should have stayed at the reunion. But I don't really care, So my vote is we need to bring Candiace back. Bring Candiace back because we aren't getting Karen, and we sure as hell better not be getting Mia back. That's all I'm going to say on that. We've got to discuss this Beverly Hills seating chart. You guys are absolutely up in arms. I've been seeing the comments. As we know, Beverly Hills filmed their reunion last week. It was pretty quiet. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned. Yes, I am. Listen, this whole season's been kind of, you know, it's not the worst. It's not the worst, but it's not the greatest. And I have my views on that. But as far as the seating chart goes, why would any of you think that Kyle's going to have anything but first seat next to Andy? She created this show. I always go back to this. I think we forget she did institute getting this show off the ground. So, and she's the last OG standing. So where are they going to put her? Second seat? Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Kyle was second seat? That would be so weird. And I know she hasn't given us a whole lot, but there's a lot of seasons that she's first seat that she's not the main storyline or the biggest storyline. Even when it was Erica's season of all the things coming out around Tom Girardi and whether she was involved or not, I feel like it should have been Sutton and Erica first seat because they're the ones that had the most intensity around that. But it wasn't. It was Kyle. Kyle didn't really have much to do with the back and forth with Erica as much as some of the other women, but mainly Sutton. So that should say everything it needs to say. Kyle will always be first seat as long as she's on this cast. And I think this confirms she is a ghost producer. We just don't see her name written in there because it's invisible, but it's on there. So I hope that clears that up for everyone because I understand, I get where everyone's coming from. These seating charts are supposed to be based on who had the most going on in the season. And it surely wasn't Kyle, but it surely was Kyle last season, which fine, we'll give her that. But there were certainly other seasons it wasn't, and she still was first seat. So, just saying. We love Kyle. I know a lot of you guys think I don't like Kyle. I love Kyle. I just give her a lot more crap because she's an OG. I expect more out of her. All right, we've got to jump over. Yes, it's that time of the show. We must discuss what's going on with the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni lawsuit. But don't worry, we're not going down any rabbit holes. This is a quick morning show. Just want to give you the tidbits of what is actually happening. So I'm going to pull up what the Daily Mail is saying. And my goodness, I feel like we are never going to get rid of this story. I feel like it's going to forever be ingrained in all of us at this point. It is clear that Taylor Swift is absolutely going to be subpoenaed in this lawsuit with Justin Baldoni. And listen, there's been a lot of chatter from the beginning when people pieced it together that Blake was referring to Taylor in the documents. And when Justin put his out, there was clear indication that they were referring to Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift clearly was involved. We've also seen footage of Blake Lively discussing how involved Taylor was throughout the whole process of filming the movie. So it's not a shocker that they would subpoena her because she was around for some of what seems to be a lot of the things that happened and decisions that were made. Now, was she part of influencing those decisions? That we don't know, but it feels like two girl bosses were like, we're going to get you what you deserve, girl. And they just went in and did that. I honestly think that Taylor didn't think this was going to blow up the way it did. And when it came out that people were piecing this together, that she was somewhat involved based on what was in Justin's lawsuit, I think her team, Taylor's team, was like, hold on a second now. We're not going to ruin this billion-dollar brand because now you've attached yourself to your friend's lawsuit. So we're going to distance ourselves. No more dinners with Blake and Ryan. No more girl nights out. I, in the beginning, was like, okay, publicly, this makes sense. We're not going to ruin one person's brand to possibly support someone's efforts in trying to do whatever it is that Blake's doing. Because I still don't understand if this is even still about sexual harassment or it's about retaliation or it's just like it's a pissing match. And they're so used to getting their way that because they've gotten so much pushback and they're not winning any of their motions that they're trying to put forward to the judge, it seems like we're getting desperate. Hence why we've hired the CIA alum to be our crisis PR person. So if that doesn't tell you that shit's hitting the fan over there, I don't know what is. But as for Taylor, I think this is going to be the end of their friendship. If she gets subpoenaed, okay, that's a wrap. I mean, just put it in the book of another person who used Taylor Swift. Of course, everyone's always using this girl for anything they can get. So I can probably confidently say that these two are not going to be going out to dinner anytime soon. But it's not just Taylor that's going to be subpoenaed. We've also discussed that in the amended lawsuit that Blake put out just a couple weeks back at this point, although they were not named, it was very clear that she was talking about Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferrer, who are in this movie as well. And it wasn't long before the Hollywood Reporter basically outed who those people were that she was talking about. And from Blake's side, it was that she was trying to protect people from getting the backlash and online bullying, which when you read what Jenny Slate was uncomfortable with when it gets down to like her complaint, and we still don't know if it was an HR complaint or if it was just a normal complaint or if it was just spoken to just randomly to someone, Blake, allegedly. And this is what they're going to try to use, right? But then when you break it down, does it not make her seem more stupid? Look, Jenny doesn't have the best track record. Okay. She's also not the biggest actress. Jenny Slate moved to an apartment in New York City because that's where they were going to be close to filming this movie. It ends with us. Obviously, she has a toddler son. The rental didn't work out for her, but she already put this $15,000 deposit. It just wasn't working. And so she was probably frustrated. Jamie Heath, who is a partner at Wayfarer Studios, basically, said via this article that, okay, we'll cover the $15,000 cost. You go find a new apartment. And then I guess somewhere in the conversation, he alluded to the fact that Jenny Slate is a mother and they believe in the sanctity of motherhood. So allegedly, that's what made Jenny Slate uncomfortable. Maybe she wanted to be referred to as a birthing person. Now, Isabella Ferrer, I think she's young. She doesn't really probably understand all the games that probably get played in situations like this. So I'm not going to sit here and say that she's a part of this list of people that we're trying to go after. Justin, I think she's just an innocent bystander who got romanced and love bombed by Blake Lively. I mean, the sleepovers, the gifts, the clothes, all those things are, in my mind, things that are used when you want to get people in your corner. And I'm not sure if they'll both be subpoenaed. It looks like they could be, though. It looks like they could be because they were clearly mentioned without name, but they were mentioned in the amended lawsuit as having issues as well. So it's not to say that, Blake won't have them subpoenaed because if she has nothing else, this is what she's got. She's got to dig for what she can get. I'm also hearing out there that perhaps Blake's team is out here silencing creators who are talking. So now people are talking in code. Not sure what's going on there, but if that's the case, then we have a bigger problem on our hands, don't we? Because that then further proves that celebrities do have the manpower to get content suppressed and basically control the media, which I have a huge problem with. So hopefully that's not true, Blake and team. I hope you're not out here suppressing. Maybe it's just glitches in the system. We'll keep watching. We'll let you know what's up. But as of right now, I think this friendship is over. I do. I don't think this is going to make it. I don't see how you can maintain a friendship when one of the parties who probably never wanted to be involved publicly in any of this backlash is now involved. And now her PR people have to work overtime to cover up all the other stuff with other headlines. So, and lastly, before I head out of this episode, I want to let you guys know I am really obsessed with this season of White Lotus, so much so that I am going to start recapping it. We are at episode 3 as of right now. I'm hooked. There's so much going on. There's so many layers. I love shows like this. Now, although I've never recapped a scripted show, this will be my first. I am telling you, if you're not watching, you are missing out. This time it's in Thailand. I've been to Thailand. It's absolutely stunning and breathtaking. So if you're not watching, do yourself a favor and watch. Quick little reminders. This morning show is going to be Monday through Friday as of right now. 30 minutes, like I said, quick hot topics to get you going for your day. And then that will be separate to my normal podcast episodes, which generally are episode recaps or just a roundup of things happening in the Bravo universe or pop culture in general. So you can also watch this on YouTube. So if you are watching on YouTube, hi YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell because you don't want to miss when I'm uploading. And if you are listening via audio, whether it's on the podcast or wherever you're listening to this, please give me a 5-star rating wherever you're listening to this podcast episode. I really would appreciate it. Get in my DMs on Instagram at Georgio Says. I'm in there with you guys. I'm chatting it up, being nosy just like all of you. So let's chat. If you're not following me on TikTok, what are you doing? What are you doing? Follow me on TikTok. Other than that, guys, I'm excited. We have an all-new episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills tonight, and then followed by that is the new series premiere, Denise Richards and her Wild Little Things. So definitely going to be tuned in for that. And listen, it's been a morning. This is my second run. Let's hope this one sticks. But I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And until the next episode, guys, I'm going to talk to you on the next one. Bye.
Wake up with Georgio Says. In the morning, wake up with Georgio Says. Wake up with Georgio Says.